I'm alive and I'm live. All right. And today's 9/9/2024. I just turned that just 8 minutes ago. 9/9/2024. Hi, this is Tori Magoo 44. And if you've come to this site, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hopefully coming and saying hello. I'm going to wait a couple minutes till some of my friends come. They already know this, so I'll say it anyway. I was in Scientology for 30 years. I know it sounds like a long time, and it was a long time. But a lot of it wasn't as bad as it is now. I got in 1969, quit college, hitchhiked across the country to join Scientology. And it took me many, many years until I realized it was a scam, which was in 2000. And I thought, I'll just leave. Well, can you just leave like that? Hi, love it. Good to see you. I want to talk to you afterwards, love it. Hi, Shade Tree Mechanic. I am good, thank you. Hi, Verity. It's good to see you guys. You're like my family. Hi, Kelly, YouTube fan. Mods and chat. That's right. Hello to all of you. And future that are going to come. Because that's the neat thing. That with YouTube, you can come the next day and still hear the chat. Always around. I like YouTube. I really do. So anyway, I escaped out of the country. I escaped across the country, joined Scientology. It took me 30 years to actually wake up and realize it was just a giant scam. In the meantime, hi, Chi. What usually keeps people in are their friends. They weed out. It's very much like the Truman Show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But it's very much like that, where everyone is kind of insulated, isolated, and in this Scientology show. That's really what it is. And you only see these people that are in the show, and they're all like, Tori, hi, Chi, you're here. It's very weird because it seems, especially, that's why I tell people to be careful on just going in, because people think, well, I'll just go in and see how it is. But they're good at what they do. They are. They find out what they call it, your buttons. They find out your buttons, and I can't see anybody. Oh, JB808, hi. You are welcome. Kelly, YouTube fan. I like that. Anyway, they find out what is bothering you, right? And all of us have something. It's usually relationships, money, jobs, something in those categories. There might be something else, but hey, hi Tinker Mom, good to see you. I still have the little thing with the last wonderful baking stuff that you gave us. I have it on my dining room table to give to you when I see you. You've been busy getting your firstborn to college. Ooh, so happy to see you still handling Scientology. Their own ass. Exactly. I know. It's fun. It's what I do. What can I say? It's one of the things that I do. My friends, my family. I saw my son last night, which was wonderful. And I know what it feels like to send him off to college. I mean, well, Justin stayed pretty near here, but he was still away, and it's just different. No one is totally fulfilled. It gives them an opening. Exactly. They find something that you might have just lost a dog or a mother or a relative or a friend, or they find something that you're like having trouble with. And they go, we used to say in the old days, I feel like my grandfather, where one days going by. We used to say, Scientology can help you with that. Come on in. I mean, that's how they were just positive. It was like, Scientology can help you. Come on in. And they'd go, okay. And they'd, come on in. And we'd sit them down and whatever. It was just like, then they do a little personality test. And, oh, you're really good at these things, but these things really need help. And you know what? I think you could start with the communication course. And that's what everyone starts with. No one is, okay. Hi, pretty. Nice. Love it. I hope you're doing well. I miss her. She's cruising around. I'm going to see my brother in about a week in Santa Fe. So if anyone, including you, love it, because you have some things you said you'd tell me to go visit. So please text me or email me a little list of whatever you think, especially you, love it. Hi, Connie B. Thank you all for coming by. So anyway, I've been speaking out ever since. I wasn't going to. I had called Stacy, who was helping me get out at that time, and said, I'm not going to speak out. I'm not making videos. I'm not going to picket. I'm just leaving quietly under the radar. And she said, Tori, we're only doing for you what we wish someone had done for us when we left the sewer, Jesse Prince. And if you want to hear some good stories, Google or type in YouTube Jesse Prince. He helped run the church with the scavenge for a while. Now he's out. Will you still stream from your son's house? No, I never. Oh, no, I'm not going. Did I say my son? I'm sorry. My brother. I'm going to see my brother. And my son lives close by. My brother is in Santa Fe. So I'm going to try it. I'm just not sure. I know he's told me the internet is really, he's like 6,000 feet up and kind of I think, that's okay, Kelly, no problem. I think it's kind of a mountainous area maybe, but anyway, he said he has really hard time getting connections. So you have to go through Xfinity, something like that there. And I don't have that, so I don't know. I'll have to call my, I'm glad I'm talking to you guys because I just thought of this. I should call them and see if I'll still have connection with my internet thing there. And if I do, then I will. But if I don't, so I'm only going to be there for 6 days, so it's not too long. But anyway, I'm going to probably, because of all of you kind people who've sent me some money, I'm going to go soon and get my laptop. And I'm thinking about getting just a little, I looked online and there's some really affordable ones. I thought, well, I could just get a little one to go to my brother's and then come back and really, because someone's helping me. Mitch, actually, the guy that I did the internet with, what was it, Friday night? Yeah. Anyway, he's going to help me get a laptop, pick out one that's a good one for me. Because, as most of you know, I don't know anything about computers. So there you go. And I loved DOA when he came over. He went, I can't believe it. You have 5 million views. I think it's 5 million and 25,000 subscribers. And you never made a dime on this. And I said, it wasn't around in my day. And my interest is just to educate people. Wow, CG, hi from Greece. Ooh, nice. Very sweet. Thank you, Connie. I know I've heard it's lovely from, Lovett has been there, so she told me that. Spanky's been there, so she told me that. My brother loves it, so we'll see. Who knows? There's so many laptops to choose from, and it's hard to make a decision. I know. Depends on what you want to do with it and how much room you want. Exactly. But I think Mitch will be able to help me sort it out because he was like, oh yeah, well, we're going to get it. So anyway, we'll see. I might switch over to a Mac. That's what he's trying to talk me into it. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I've been on a PC forever. As long as I've been on the internet, I've been on a PC. So I'm sort of like, do any of you have any understanding of if it's easy to switch over to a laptop from a PC or not? Hi, Sophie. Hi, good to see you. Thank you for coming on. So my topic tonight is, why is Tom Cruise always leaving? And I think you guys know, but I'm going to let you guess. What do you think? Why is he always leaving? Somebody give me a guess. Good morning, Larry. Well, I'll tell you, just so you don't have to wait too long. He isn't. And I don't think he ever will. But because he can't find a girlfriend that's willing to do Scientology. Now, that's a good one, YRB. That's a really good one. Hi, Hobby Junkie 10. Hi, Larry. No, no. Hi, Tinker Mom. He isn't really leaving. He isn't. It's sort of a joke for me because every time, almost in those rag mags all the time, Tom Cruise is leaving Scientology for good. And it's sort of like, and people will come up to me and they'll go, "Did you read that Tom Cruise is leaving?" And I'm like, Tom Cruise is not leaving Scientology, probably ever. I mean, the only hope he has, I honestly think, is if he ever got a girlfriend who was smart enough to look on the internet. Hi, Melissa Montez. Not that I care if he's gay or not. My daughter is gay, so I have no problem with it at all. I don't think it's that he's gay. I don't. All of us who've known them, I never really knew Tom Cruise, but I've been around people who did. And none of us have any proof that he is. JT, definitely, he rolls both ways. Why would he? They treat him like a king. Exactly. So I think that's a big part of why he and John stay. It's like if you have, people think, well, he's a celebrity already. He's already got the red carpet treatment. Sort of. But if you really listen to interviews by celebrities, it's a lot of work to stay at the top. It is. And for him, for Tom Cruise especially, he has a red carpet treatment around the world. Not that he's not a good actor. I think he is. I don't like some of his newer movies, but I love some of his older ones. And I've mentioned that. A Few Good Men. I can't believe he didn't wake up from that. I can't believe he didn't wake up from The Firm. I love The Firm. That is an awesome movie if you haven't seen it. This day and age, it's not such a big deal like it used to be back in the day, right? I feel Tiny T harms the cause. Tiny. Oh, you think Tiny T. So Tom hurts the cause. I don't know that he harms it because very few people are joining it anymore. But I think there's people that probably stay in that if he did leave would probably go, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? Not that they're staying in only because of John or Tom Cruise, but I think it's a factor. It is. I have an issue with him because of the way he acted about medication. Hello, me too. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Actually, with that, I have to tell you, Connie, I was really happy he did act that way because I have been speaking out about their medical abuses since 2000. And it wasn't really until he said that stuff, that a lot of people got ticked off. They were like, that's awful. And I was like, hello, yeah. So I'm kind of glad he did because it did bring it to the forefront. Yeah. Oh, I never read the book, Be Flawless. I'll have to check that out because it's different than the movie, I take it. Who's leaving Scientology only sells all those Superman. That's right. Why would he leave a place where he's treated not only like a film star, but an actual superstar saving the earth? Exactly. So I'm just saying, because people ask me it all the time, and it's like, I have to say, no, it's just selling magazines. So I thought I'll make a video about it and just say, if ever you hear someone saying, well, I heard Tom Cruise is leaving Scientology, just look at them and go, really? And where was that from? Where did you hear that from? See, that's what I always ask people. Where did you hear that from? Okay, Sophie, please put questions before your questions or comments. Thank you. Your friends and provide context for when Gary is able to get to it. Thank you. For alternatively, with Siri, he disconnected. I'm not sure with the kids that Tom disconnected from them. I think they cannot talk to you. Well, maybe you're right. I'm not sure. Yes, ma'am. You put the spotlight on it. Thank you. Thank you, Connie. Now, let's see. He has had ex-wives. Let's see. What's this? He has had ex-wives who were smart enough to discern, but he has made sure the kids disconnected. Doubtful he could ever change. Yeah, I don't think so either. I really don't. I mean, maybe, like I said, if you got a girlfriend and she was like, you know what, if they really fell in love, and then the girlfriend said, look, you've got to start looking at this stuff or we can't stay together. And that's the only way I could see it. Or alternatively, I don't know. Did he disconnect from her? That's awful if he did. Yeah, I think this is a true fact, but often thrown around for a lot of people. I think he is. Yeah, I think that's very true. Deep Flawless. That's such a cute name, Deep Flawless, and all cults. And nobody ever tells him no. Exactly, and they're all kissing his ass. So it isn't like a whole motivation. I mean, I was in on the dark side. Do you know what I mean? And they knew I was a true believer, so they thought, no problem. She trusts Yachty. We'll get Yachty to do it. It'll all work out. He was my auditor, counselor, and best friend, or one of my best friends. And so, hey, hi, June Simmons from Orlando. That's a fun place. I went to Orlando when I was trying to get on OT7, and they were trying to get me off my medicine again. And they said, no, you have to get off your medicine. And I said, no, I'm done. I want all my folders to go up to RTC. I want Ray Midoff to look at them and decide, because either you haven't misunderstood or I do. Because I finally said, all right, you show me, as far as medicine, where L. Ron Hubbard said I have to get off my medicine for epilepsy. You show me that in writing right now. How was it flat? And they could only come up with one line in an upper OT level that said, on upper OT levels, a person should not be on medicine. Now, that was L. Ron Hubbard on upper OT levels. Now, that year, David Miscavige had canceled all OT levels. They're no longer OT levels. OT 1 through 7 are all pre-OT levels. So they're not really OT levels. They're pre-OT levels, even though we all call them that. But that's a fact. And so I said, look, I've talked to people doing every one of those OT levels, and they all talk about handling physical illnesses. So don't tell me OT7 doesn't. I think L. Ron Hubbard was talking about much later past, because OT8 was supposed to be the first OT level. So I said, I'm not even on that level. I'm talking about OT7. And yeah, I'm glad I'm out of that sheet too, Larry. KSW is keeping Scientology working, which is the beginning thing for mind control, in my opinion, because you have to follow it. And that's what he said. You can either follow the path and get free, or you start doing other stuff and you'll never get free. And so keeping Scientology working is following the path. And if you see anybody off the path, you've got to write it up and let ethics know. It's all under the guise of we will help them. We're the people that will help them. No, they won't. They're just going to make them pay more money and keep on the path, because they make money on the path. Okay, now let's see. This is Alexa. The fact that disconnection torn apart not one but two of his families is heinous. It is true. It is, but also he stayed in. You know what I mean? They left. He didn't choose his family or his wives or his children over Scientology. That's my opinion. Remember that propaganda film he did, Tom Cruise is all about KSW. Right. Yeah, that's how Anonymous came about, because he had that film, you're either in or out. It was really, he looked awful. And so Scientology called YouTube and said, get it off YouTube or we're going to probably sue you to death. And Anonymous heard about it and they said, we're going to kick their asses. And they did. He said, we're going to show you who owns the internet. It's not you. And It was pretty cool. It really was. It was an amazing time for me. Just an amazing time. I mean, I can never say enough about it because it was for me, having spoken out in 2000 when nobody would. I mean, there's so much support now. There was none of this. There was no chats. None. Not one. Zero. Zip. None. There was, I think, Andreas on www.xenu.net, on this amazing site that he created, the late Andreas Helderlin, who now passed away this year, but he created xenu.net, and on that, he had a little, up in the corner was a little chat, a message board, and you could go on there and chat with people. But it was very tiny. It was very tiny, and it was sort of like you type something in, they'd answer it, It was just a little tiny part of the internet. There was none of all of this. So you guys have all helped so much in, decreasing their possibility to expand and rope kids in and stuff like that, rope even adults in, because they can come on here and see what you guys are saying. It's good. L. Ron Hubbard was possessed by evil spirits to lead people astray, straight to facts. All right? But it makes sense that you or they don't find out the weird stuff until the upper levels. And even with the upper levels, that doesn't do it. That isn't what did it for me. I did OT3, and I thought I had wins on it until I went into status epilepticus, which is multiple grand mal seizures afterwards. And obviously that wasn't it. And so then they said, okay, come, once I was better out of the hospital, then they took me in and said, you've got to get OT 5 through 7 and, or OT 4 through 7. And it was a ride because they tried to kick me off the Flag Land Base. This 18-year-old kid opens up my folder and goes, you're not allowed on the Flag Land Base. And I'm like, are you talking to me? The taxi cab driver thing. And it turned out what it was is another person had been taken off of all of their medicine for epilepsy and they're dead back then. I didn't know it, and they didn't have the guts to tell me. So they just tried to kick me off. And I just kept saying, are you talking to me? Me? Are you talking to me? And I just kept getting louder. Are you talking to me about leaving? You better get the director of processing. And they did. The guy did, and she came, and I said, what the hell's going on here? I've been helping you all for years for free, volunteering. What is this crap? About my medicine. I was pissed. And so she said, okay. And we got a whole program for you, Tori. It's going to work out great. Everything that's been done to you earlier was wrong. It was suppressive. It shouldn't have happened. That's what she said, right? So now I do these setups for OT7 or OT4 at the time. I'm doing these setups. And then my auditor and friend, Bill Yachty, hands the cans to me and he goes, okay, we're going to set check epilepsy. And I took the cans and set them on the other side. And I said, you know what, Bill? That's it. That's a wrap. You and the CSs can set check epilepsy. I'm done. I want my folders to go to Ray Midoff up at RTC and let him decide whether you have an MU or I do. An MU being a misunderstood word. And they wrote a full thing, just so anybody, if you're in and you're listening and you have a medical condition, they wrote a whole thing from the Senior CS International about medicine saying if you have a medical condition and you've tried to get off the medicine but it didn't work, and your doctor can attest it is not a mind-altering drug, which mine are not, boom, you can get auditing with your medicine. So that was because of me. So just so you know, it's still there. So if you're in and you have a medical condition, trace it down and be tough. Do you know what I mean? Like I took on the whole Flag Land Base. I was like, hey, I'm done. I've done this for 20 years. I'm done with this. I nearly died twice because of this shit. I am done. with your medical abuse. No, you show me where it says in writing. Because Hubbard said, if it isn't in writing, it isn't true. Okay, well then, there you go. It is in writing. That's why I have my SP declare. Because she said, do you want to know why you're declared suppressive? When I called her after I left and come back, and I was trying to get my receipts to get my money back. And I said, no, why am I talking to you? She said, because you've been declared suppressive. And I said, well, just so you know, I know you might be too young to understand this, but there is a policy L. Ron Hubbard wrote, and I knew this would really piss her off, and it did, saying, if it isn't in writing, it isn't true. And I have nothing in writing saying I'm a declared suppressive. And see, I knew Jesse had told me, no, they don't send out SP declares anymore. They're done with that. And I thought, they're not done with it with me. No. And so sure enough, she said, I'll FedEx it to you. And I said, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. And she did. She FedExed it. She said, you'll have it within 24 hours. And I did. And that's why it's laminated. I was like, I'm keeping this puppy. Because that was back when they were breaking in my house and stuff like that. Don't even think about it, Osa. Don't even think about it. Okay, so, yeah, it's awful that it happened to me. It was a bunch of shit that I went through. But it got me out of Scientology, quite frankly. I mean, seeing the dark side of OSA and all the crap that they did, they throwing me under the bus. And on top of that, the medical abuse. I just was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I mean, once I read about the enforced abortions, that just cracked my whole Truman Show. I cried and cried and cried. I was just like, I'm done. Sunday was Confident Chris's birthday, and he didn't invite me to a birthday party. Hi, Confident Chris, if you hear this, happy birthday. Well, we'll have to get him something. That's good. Thank you, D Flawless, for letting me know. Okay, now what does Connie say? Because with the Thetans, I would have to say I'm checking out now. Oh, the body Thetans. Remember, you are a Thetan, right? That's just another name for spirit. So we're all Thetans in Scientology language. So they calling you a Thetan and you're going to check out because of that, it doesn't really compute for someone. Calling you, saying you were covered in body Thetans, now that's a different thing. And most people, because it's triangle, and 90% only get up to maybe clear. I mean, all the Sea Org are clear or below. Above clear is the OT levels. And you don't find out about Xenu and the body Thetans until OT3, which, just in case you happen to be plugging in going, what is she talking about? Go here, that website, and it's on there in writing, L. Ron Hubbard completely. And despite a couple of celebrities who tried to tell me it's not true, it's in writing and it's in his handwriting. Okay, now wait a minute. I guess Germany's Scientology seems to be very litigious. They are. That's one of their things. That's how I got Anonymous to do the pickets, because they were going to do some other stuff. And I said, look, they're very litigious. You will be in prison if you do anything against the law. But thank you for letting me know that, D. Flawless, about Chris. Okay, here's a question from YRB. How quickly would Davey discard Tom if he became a convicted criminal and had no money? Good question. Well, look at Danny Masterson. I mean, because of his celebrity status, I doubt if they would just pitch him off the road like they do most people. You know what I mean? Get rid of her, right? She's just a pain in the ass. I go from like, oh, Tori, call Tori, she can handle anything. She's so great. And then, gone, declared. But I don't think so for Tom. And I think he knows that. But you can't know it enough or he'd go see his kids. Or else he's a really screwed up guy. I don't think he's right about that, because look at Danny Masterson. They haven't even declared. Have they declared him suppressive yet? I don't think so. Comment. You're a true trailblazer and inspiration, Tori. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. YouTube fan. I appreciate that. I really do. I definitely feel like one. I do. I mean, I've hung in there through a lot of stuff. I mean, when you think about it. Yep, it does need to be shut down. This is correct, Larry. Good morning from Germany. Hi. Hello, Hans Christian Schwartz. Nice. You're so lucky that you survived status epilepticus. It's a big deal. I don't think I'm lucky. I think I'm very determined to live. That's part of my life. It's like I'm going to live through this, no matter what. And even there, I didn't just have status epilepticus. I was able to somehow, and this is really weird because if you know what a seizure is, it's just like I was gone, out, checked out, not there. But somehow in the back of my mind, I knew, don't call Scientology, Tori. They will get you in a car, drive you to a doctor 45 minutes away, and you'll be dead. So I called Jerry Hall, who was like 5 minutes away. And I just said, Jerry, get over here right now. That's the only thing I said. And I was out. And he drove me right over to Morton Plant Hospital, which is right next to Flag, which they didn't do with Lisa McPherson years later. And but they did with me. He did with me. And the doctor said 5 more minutes and you would have been dead. Fact. That's Scientology. The other thing, if another Scientologist is watching this, part of Scientology, the communication course is TR0, where I'm going to take off my glasses for this, even though my eyes look awful, but there you go. But you're just supposed to look into each other's eyes, right? So you're looking into each other's eyes, and they really don't want you to blink. They used to have blinkless TRs where you had to do 2 hours of this without blinking. Now you can blink, but it's very rare. I was at Flag and I got like really, really dry eyes and it was awful. And I had to go to a specialist doctor. And he said, you know what, you're not blinking enough. And I said, this is a very weird situation for me. I am on a course in Scientology where their theory is you shouldn't blink. And he said, do you know how unhealthy that is for your eyes? You need to blink way more than you're blinking. And that's true for a lot. If any ex-Scientologists that are listening to this and hearing it, that's you too. Because we've all been drilled into this, like not blinking. I have to think about it and go, okay, blink, Tori, keep blinking. It's really weird. It is. So anyway, that's just a tip for anybody. But thank you, Connie. I don't feel lucky, but I'm very proud that I did. Hey, Germany. Yes, exactly. Hans, hi there. It is criminal. It's totally criminal. That's the thing that's weird. It's like, really, we can't, it is crazy. It's like, why won't they look into these cults when they know they're abusive? I mean, it's starting to happen, but it's so slow. My mom was a victim of L. Ron Hubbard in the late 70s. She's left the whole area and moved with me. Good. Congratulations. Tell her I said personally, congratulations. Good for her. And good for you for taking her in. That's wonderful. Just saying. You're right. Dang, I'm late again. Don't worry about it. Danya, never in, always against. You always make me smile, so don't worry about it. It's all there. You can listen to it at the end. And don't forget, everybody, to hit the like button, too. I'm sorry about your mom. I'm glad she got away. Yeah, me too. Really glad. May the force be with you. Thank you, Zach. It's all evil and deceptive. It's sort of true, but not really. I mean, I think when you say stuff like that, it's so broad and it's so general that it doesn't really, it definitely supports people who don't know anything about it because they agree. But for people who are in it, they don't see it as evil and deceptive. They don't. You have to kind of give specifics. Like that was one of the things, I don't know if you guys know Debbie Mace, but she used to run the Flag Land Base for, I think, 25 years. And then she woke up and left. But before she left, she sent a letter out. She wasn't even leaving at the time. She just sent a letter out it was to David Miscavige, and she emailed it to thousands of people, I think. And it was like that they're charging too much money. I forget. She had 3 things that she was, and you can Google Debbie Mace letter and read it. But it was 3 things. It was like they're fundraising too much, they're charging too much money for the things, and one other thing. And the flat, again, if they would have just let her go, just like me, if they would have just let me go, I would have been on my way. I would have never said anything. I would have had nothing to say. That would have been it. I would have been gone. But they couldn't. And so from LAX to Tampa, I left as a Scientologist. I arrived in Tampa at 1:45 in the morning as an activist because of what they'd done. Same thing with her. She wasn't really going to do anything. She was just sending a letter saying, we need to correct these things. And she'd been the commanding officer of Flag for 25 years. For we who've been in, we know how big that is. And they went nuts. Declared her. I mean, you can, on YouTube, type in Debbie. Is it Debbie Mace? Yeah, Debbie Mace. Yeah. No, it isn't Debbie Mace. Who am I thinking of? Debbie Cook. Debbie Cook. Oh, thank God I remembered it. Because Debbie Mace has got the Mace Kingsley Ranch and all that shit. No. Wait. Let me just put it in here so all of you get it right. Debbie Cook. And you can put Cook. There. Did that come up? Did it go there? Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm really, whoa. Will do, Larry. Debbie Cook was Scientologist. That's right, Tori. They, Scientology, create their own enemies. That's right. Okay. Hang on. Aaron did a recent within the last week video about Debbie Cook's email. Okay, good. So yeah, check out Aaron also. That, it was an intense situation. I mean, she looked awful in the courtroom. It was just unbelievable to see her, having known her for many, many years. Osa doesn't like it when you like a video. Oh yeah, so she's saying, please like the videos. Yeah, they don't. And they hate it when people subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do wherever you go. Tori, my mom will appreciate that. Oh, good, Larry. I'm glad. I'll tell my mom. Thank you. Okay, wow. Can people really stare without? I know it's almost impossible. It's really hard. It's really bad for your eyes. Yeah, they used to have it that way. They also used to have, before the Pura, they had the running program, because, in the Pura, you have to run around for a while. But the running program, it was 2 hours in a rubber suit. You had to run for 2 hours in a rubber suit. I never did it. A lot of that stuff, I was like, not me. It wasn't around during that time, so I just kind of missed it. Do you see what I mean? And it might have been only for the Sea Org. I'm not sure. That one, I'm not sure. But crazy to force people not to blink. I know. It is. Insane. Yeah. It's involuntary, I think. Yeah. Well, now I've talked about it a bunch for years. Let's see. For even people with us on cell phones, laptops, etc. Larry, eye torture. 2 hours, that's torture. It is. It's torture to sit. And it was really funny because I was pretty good at it. I could stay there. Oh, look at Connie. Wait just a second. My husband has seizures as well. Luckily, he's been, yeah, me too. I've been seizure free for 30 years, maybe 35 now. Well, for a very long time. I have at least 30. It might be 40 because it was the last one was I think 1980. So 90, 2000, 2010, 2010. Yeah, 40. So I'm 40, 40 years. That's good. Tori, your words are informative. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. I really do. It helps to know what helps. And you guys, if you have questions, let me know. Oh, you thought I meant the Jerry Hall. Mix XO lady. No, no. I didn't mean Hall anyway. Yeah, this is tricky. I found my boyfriend having grand mal seizures. Oh, I know. It's very scary. It is. And Larry says, Tori, I feel like this is kind of therapy as you talk. Yeah, it is. I think it's therapy for you guys and me. It really helps. It does. People learn things and they twig on things. It's very interesting. Okay, now this is a good one from Sophie. It is AC in the background, whoever asked Sophie that. I'm sorry if it's loud, but it's so fucking hot. Oops, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that. But it's like 107 or something. It's really, really hot. So it's just like, forget it. It'll just be a little noisy. Oh, can I talk more about how you can go from being loved and needed in the cult 1 minute and then completely. No, you didn't finish the sentence. Let me just see if she did. And completely. I guess you didn't. Well, I think you mean completely. Okay. It happens to a lot of people. It's like you're at the top. Like Jesse Prince helped run the church, and he escaped out in the middle of the night before the internet or anything, and was on his own for like 5 years until Bob and Stacy found him and said, "Come work with us. We're starting the Lisa McPherson Trust in honor of Lisa McPherson, who died in their hands. And Jesse, come help us." And he did. He's a really great guy. Okay, now let me just check. Okay, so I think we're good. Yeah, Debbie Cook. You could. Did I say it right? Is it? Yeah, it is Debbie Cook. Yeah. Anyway, she was a beautiful woman at Flag for years, and then to see her in the courtroom, she just looked like this haggard, beat up, awful person. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I think I just blinked like 1,000 times just thinking about not blinking. I know it does really put your attention on it, because probably none of us blink enough. You know what I mean? I realized the other night with Mitch, I kept saying, "Are my eyes okay?" I could hardly read the print. And then someone, I think it was Witness, mentioned eye drops, and I put some in today, and oh my God, my eyes were like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Tori." It's interesting. It was a good spotting. Oh my God, running in that rubber suit for 2 hours. I know, can you imagine? And some of those guys on the RPF and the Sea Org, they ran for, around a pole for years. I was just like, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't. I know people say, yeah, but you stayed and you did Scientology and all that. But there were certain things like when the superpower came out, I said way back then, I said, no, I will, because they wanted me to put money into it right then. And I said, listen to me carefully. Because I heard the part of the running around the pole that the Sea Org have to do on the RPF was part of superpower. So I said, listen to me carefully. I, Tori, will not be doing superpower ever. And it was just like, don't even, and they knew I could kick ass. So they were like, just leave her alone. Okay. I know. How can you stare without blinking for 2 hours? It's tricky. I never did it. I never did the 2 hour thing. I did it for a long time, but I didn't do the 2 hour thing. I don't think it was quite in when I did it. And I kind of lost, but it was a long time. You didn't blink much. Yeah, that's why that doctor said, you're hardly blinking. And I said, it's really tricky. I'm on this course where we're not supposed to blink. And he was like, are you kidding me? He was really ticked. All right, so let's see. Okay. Is Love It on here? Because I don't get why she's not doing that little thing with highlighting the videos. Yeah. No, I'm not muted. Do you think I'm muted? Can you guys hear me? Don't tell me I'm muted. Tori, you can swear after 5 to 10 minutes. I know, but every time it's a good thing to get out of anyway, even though I like it. But I do it in person, but I'm not going to do it online. I think it's a good policy. Sophie, my earbuds died. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. It's better than your dog or cat. Sorry, Tori, you're at the top one day, scum the next. Yeah, it was. Well, the thing is this though, because in all truth, yes, with Scientology, I went from being in the top to nothing, but in the rest of the world, I went from nothing to wow. I can't believe we are supporting you. Now, a lot of people that were in the Scientology thing, they didn't feel that way because Yachty was on there right away. Don't trust Tori. She's really a top secret. She's a top secret undercover agent. He just said OSA agent, but now top secret CIA agent. Yachty, ha! There you go. You thought you had me. Well, you didn't. Anyway, it's just the way it is. But my favorite story I've had wonderful communications from people the whole time I've been out. People writing me, thanking me, calling me, stuff like that. But one of my favorites from that night when I escaped out were these people up in Seattle, and they were in an office, and they wrote me the next day, and they said, Magoo, we are not ex-Scientologists. We're not critics. We have nothing to do with Scientology. But somehow we caught your escape across the country. And we are so proud of you. And every morning we come in to see what is Magoo up to today. And I just thought it was so sweet that they all kept supporting me for weeks and weeks, probably months. It was really neat. It really teaches you. You never know when you can really help somebody with something as little as that. It's nothing to them. It was just like, we just want to to them it was probably just fun. We're following you and seeing what you're doing. To me, it went right to my heart. It was like, wow. I use eye drops every day. I need to do that, Nanya. I do. I know I do. I do, and then I get into it, and then I get out of it. All right, Sophie. Question. Tori, can you explain how you could not be clear, but you were still in for so long? How were you able to set your own boundaries within it? No, I told you, I explained this to everybody, but I can explain it again. Because I have epilepsy, and the original definition on the book that they gave me, the Dianetics book, they being the two kids in high school that came and gave me that in college, the original Dianetics book says it's perfect memory, perfect IQ, no somatics, no pains. Well, that sort of wipes me out right there. I don't have a perfect memory. I have somatics with epilepsy, no pains, no, it's like, forget about it. So I wasn't even really, I was into Dianetics. I thought that would help it. I got into Scientology not to be clear. I did not get into it. A lot of people did. They wanted to be OT. They wanted to be whatever. I didn't. I got into it to help other people. So that's all I really cared about. And as soon as I got trained, I was like, okay, now I can help other people, right? So I was happy. I didn't really care about the rest of the bridge, but they kept pushing me up the bridge, and really, finally, L. Ron Hubbard's son, Arthur Hubbard. And if Arthur, you're hearing this, thank you, because it really changed my life. He took me out to lunch one day and he said, "What's your story?" And I told him, and he goes, I said, "So, I can't really go clear because I have epilepsy." And so he said, "Well, how did you get into Scientology?" And I told him my story. And he said, "Oh my God, you're a last lifetime clear. That's it." And this is before that term was out. Now it's out and people use it and stuff like, I don't know if they still do, but they did in the 90s. But this is before I'd ever even heard that term. And I said, it's just like classic delusion though, where you just kind of go, "Oh, you're right." He was, because I said, "Well, but he wrote Dianetics in 1950. And he goes, "Yeah, but he was doing research when you were born, and before you were born. So you were probably part of the research." And as soon as he said that, I was just like, oh, like dominoes, click, 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 click. It all just went to, and I was like, okay, I'm clear. So I tested to, I think it was natural clear. I tested to. So now I'm clear. And then OT1 is like basically go out and talk to a bunch of people at a bus stop. Well, that's not too difficult for me. So I could attest to one. Yeah, I can talk to people at a bus stop. I'm okay with it. It's funny to think people pay for that. Oh my God. OT2, I can honestly tell you, I did not understand it. I really didn't. It was all opposites, like white, black, up, down, happy, sad, stuff like that. And you just read these on a page. And the meter was just like going all over the place and floating. And it was just sort of like, okay, whatever. So I tested OT2. It was like, all right, I'm done. I didn't really care. Everyone kept saying, "You've got to get to OT3. That's what's going to handle epilepsy." So I thought, okay, I got to get to OT3. So that was really my goal. The clear thing I didn't really care about. I didn't know anybody that was clear that I believed was clear. I still don't. There's a lot of people that'll say, "Oh, I'm clear." And I'm like, okay, good. You think you're clear. But in my world, you're not. Because you don't have a perfect memory, you don't have a perfect IQ, and you don't have no somatics, and you don't have no pains. Now, what happened is Hubbard and then Miscavige kept changing the definition to water it down so anybody could attest to it, kind of thing. But I was like, no, I'm going by the original definition. So there was that. But then once I got to OT3, this is where everyone had pitched this for me for years. And I thought, this is it. And to me, even though at first I thought it was totally weird, because it's like, come on, I'm covered with body thetans. Are you serious? Xenu, the evil warlord? Are you serious? You're talking to me, telling me this is OT3? That's what I'm thinking. But I'm in a closet by myself, and they just hand me a pack, and in that, you're just reading it. And I'm thinking, this is insane. And then all of a sudden, I just burst out crying. And I thought, oh my God. Doctors don't know what causes seizures. What if it is that I have these body thetans on me and they're suppressing me and causing these seizures, right? It kind of made sense. And I thought, well, and the supervisor came in because they heard me crying and they said, are you okay? And I said, oh, I'm very okay. These are good tears. Like, in other words, it gave me hope again. Like, maybe this will do it. Maybe Dianetics, oh, that didn't work. Maybe this, oh, that didn't work. Okay, this, it's sort of like, that's really what Scientology is. Maybe, until you get up to 8. That's why they're all a mess, because it doesn't work. And it doesn't work at OT8 either. So then you're even more worse off. So I didn't really, let me just look at this again to make sure. Can you explain how you could not be clear, but you were still in for so long? I was clear. I went clear, and then I did OT1, OT2, OT3, OT4, OT5, OT6, and on to OT7. but I had to fight my way through the whole thing. Like each thing, like I did OT3, had the status epileptus, bop, bop, bop. And now I pay for OT4 and I go to flag to do it. And the guy says, you're not allowed on the flag landmass. So, I had to fight my way through every single thing almost. And why I didn't just walk out, well, this information was not out there. There weren't any internet. The only way you could find out about the things I tell you is by going to talk to a suppressive person. And if you do, they follow you back then in the day, and you're declared because you went and talked to so-and-so. So there you go. That answers that, I hope. If it didn't, let me know, Sophie. Yes, Dodge, we're all here. She's so great. Love her wisdom and wit. Ah, thank you. Thank you so much, Marzi Dotes. Hey, Dodge. Yeah, I didn't even see you slip in. Hi. Where did you come from? Let me see. God. Oh, there you are. Hey, guys. Good evening. Good to see you. Are you here in LA or you're somewhere else? We can hear you. Good, Verity. Thank you. I'll be napping later, but I'm here now. All right, Jill. Thank you. Please put the question before any questions or comments you have. We're lucky to be able to ask Tori. Yeah. So ask me anything you want. Dodge, Tori, you were the original anti-COS YouTuber. Yep, the one of the early figures to come out. I was the first person on the internet to say my name and phone number. That was me. Because of you, the Aftermath show got the green light. No, because of Anonymous, the Aftermath show got the green light. And Anonymous showed up because of things a bunch of us had done and what the Church of Scientology did to try to screw them over. You showed you can talk about them and stay standing. Thank you, Dodge. That's true. I did, but I'll never take credit for the Aftermath because I really believe the Aftermath and Leah and Mike happened because of Anonymous. I mean, because of Anonymous. Anonymous cracked the media bubble that was there going, we're not talking about Scientology. They would interview me all the time. So I know this from personal experience. They would interview me for like an hour. They'd call me up. Tori, we've got to interview tomorrow morning at 7. I'd be like, oh, Jesus. But nobody else was. So I'd go do it. I'd do this hour-long interview. And it would end up being like 10 minutes. And probably 3 minutes of it was me. And I'd always look the worst. I looked the worst, and it was like some stupid thing that I'd say. They'd catch that, put it on. It was never anything really what I said. But thank you, Dodge. I really appreciate that. That is very, very kind of you. Hey, let me show you my email. This is my email. Can you send that to my email? Because I can't copy. Once all this goes, I don't know how to get back to see these comments. And that's a wonderful comment. I'd love to show my brothers because they're always showing me cool stuff. And sometimes I share one of these things, and that would be a really nice one. All right, so anyway, if you can, email that to me. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay, let me get back here. Okay, so talking to strangers at a bus stop, that's easy. I know, isn't it? It's like, are you serious? This is OT1? Okay, I'm OT1. But it was interesting because I thought about it and I thought, you never hear anybody talk about OT1. Like, well, my big wins on OT1 were, I never heard anybody talk about OT1. So that made me think, okay, so 1 and 2 are probably setups really for 3. And it kind of was like 2 was just some wacko stuff, but it kind of got you going, okay, get through the wacko stuff, and then you'll get to the good stuff. Not knowing it's going to be Xenu and BTs and clusters. The Xenu level. Exactly, OT3. Never knew Xenu was that early on the OT levels. Yeah, OT3. That is where that's the only place, I think that's the only place he's mentioned. It might be a little bit on 7, but it's Xenu. The story of Xenu is on OT3. That's where Hubbard introduced him. Okay, now this is Sophie. I think that L. Ron developed the levels he got more and more delusional and just couldn't deliver anything beyond body faithfulness on body faithfulness. Exactly. He also, remember, was popping pills all the time. So he was more delusional, but also drugged. And you can see it in the stories. And he's a sci-fi writer, remember, so it wasn't a big leap for him. Xenu was a made-up lie. You think? Sorry, Larry. But hey, Tori, in Joshua Tree, traveling from Flagstaff, but can to LA. You're coming to LA for court cases Tuesday till Thursday. Hopefully, I'll see you at Big Blue. We'll drop by. Okay, so you're going to be here Tuesday to Thursday. All right. Yeah. All right. We'll have to do it at night because first of all you'll be busy, and secondly it's too hot in the day. So we'll have to do something at night. That sounds good. And this is from Larry. Yes, it's L. Ron fiction. He who controls the word controls reality. Very good, Sophie. Gosh, okay. Good to know you're on your way. Okay, this is Mersey Dotes. I think that's why some people stay in the cult so long. They keep clinging to that there might be hope at the bridge level to help them in their problems, but they just get worse. Right. And because you're surrounded by people saying, wow, you look better, you kind of think, okay. All right. Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Everyone's saying hi. Especially talking at a bus stop to Americans, you all can talk. Sophie, you're funny. No, it's true. Well, remember, it's worldwide, so probably in your country it'll be different. But I'm sure if you have buses, that's what it is. Just read the New King's Version of the Bible, and you'll be okay. Good to know. Why? What does it say that I'll be okay? Okay, now here's a question. Tori, when you say L. Ron was popping pills, like speed or pain pills or both or everything, I think everything. I've heard from more than one person. And imagine how pissed off I was. Here I am trying to take medicine to control seizures. And I find out this moron all that time was popping pills of various different kinds, drugs, painkillers, all kinds of stuff. And many, many people have suffered for years in Scientology because they won't take pain pills. I mean, even after they leave, I know people that to this day, they're out, but they won't take pain pills. And that's from L. Ron Hubbard, who took them all the time. And go to a non-denominational church. Yeah, please. Yeah, do. I've been on my way. All right. Here's Howard Taylor, Esquire. Hello, Tori from Devon in the UK. Hi. Nice to talk to you. All right. And Tori, I caught the bus when I was in Hollywood 5 years ago, and everyone was so friendly and helpful, even paid for us. Wow. Wow. There you go. It's a little different now, but I still find people are really friendly. They are. They're very helpful. Okay, now Nanya just says Google. I'm not sure what you're saying, Google what, but maybe add that below. Query, Tori, is there a simple description of what going clear means? Yeah, it means throwing away a lot of your money for nothing. That's what going clear is. And you can Google it and you'll hear their version of it. But it's basically, I can tell you, because L. Ron Hubbard puts in your mind, now you're just yourself. And now he says, you know what, Connie? You have a reactive mind. And all of those things that are upsetting you, and the pains and somatics and sadness and grief, all of that is contained in the reactive mind. That's what L. Ron Hubbard said. That's what it is. That's what Dianetics says. It's in the reactive mind. And I used to put on bookworm seminars, which is Dianetics, so I know what I'm talking about. So all of those pains and upsets and everything is in the reactive mind. And you have an analytical mind, which is like a computer. And it just, that's a computer, and this is Connie, and you know what I mean? It's just storing information as you go along through your life. So his theory was if you erase or get rid of or make vanish your reactive mind, you will be clear. That's the goal. And thus people will stop hurting each other, because most of the people hurting each other are doing that because of their reactive mind, not because of their analytical mind. So it makes sense, right? So it's based on these moments of loss or moments of pain and unconsciousness. That's what the reactive mind is based on. Moments of loss, where you're sad or bummed out, or your dad died, or your cat died, or whatever, whatever made you sad, or pain and unconsciousness, seizures, reactive mind, right? So I was in the Sea Org. I joined the Sea Org, and they said, okay. Once I said I ran out of my medication, they said, well, you have to go to the MLO. That's the medical liaison officer on the ship. This isn't Hubbard on the ship. I was out in the LA harbor on some crummy ship doing ship training. And it was some kid, and he said, no, we're going to get you off your medicine. We're the Sea Org. We're the top 10% of the planet. We don't take drugs. So I thought, okay, I was 22. I didn't know anything. And I thought, okay, I'll get off the drugs. I'll take, they weren't drugs, it was medicine, but I'll get off of it and try your vitamins and Dianetics, which my mom had a heart attack when she heard that, and rightfully so. But anyway, so you work on it, you go down these chains, erasing moments of pain and unconsciousness and loss, right? And all of them are in what Hubbard called a chain of incidents. So it's like, here's an incident. Is there an earlier similar incident, an earlier similar, until all of a sudden, it's wow, everything erased. And the meter does this. It's floating. It's a floating needle. And you go, and your auditor goes, thank you, your needle's floating. That'll be the end of the session, right? Or they can take up another thing if there is. But anyway, that's that. So now you do this for days, months, days, weeks, months, often years. And finally, you're in session one day. This happened to me. And I said, I think I'm just making this stuff up. Because, when you go earlier similar, you only have a recollection or a memory of, your early childhood. Some people can say they remember their births. And I've audited people who ran out their birth. But nothing blows away. So, okay, what's earlier? Well, now you're in the last lifetime. And then it's like, well, I was a warrior in this war. Or a lot of people go into like, I was Adolf Hitler, or I was Cleopatra. I met a ton of Cleopatras. I met 2 Julius Caesars and Denny's in one day. True story. So, people go into all that they call it whole track, where now you're whole track. And then whatever, something happens and you go, I feel better. Now I understand. The whole chain blew. I feel much better. They go, thank you. Your needle is floating. End of session, right? But one day you go, what? I think I'm just making this stuff up. And this is what my auditor said. To my shock, Would you like to attest to clear? And in my mind, in the Homer Simpson bubble, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? That's all it takes? Hubbard put it in your head that you have a reactive mind. Now, months and months, if not years later, you realize, I think I'm just making this stuff up. Thank you. Would you like to attest to clear? Okay, I'd like to acknowledge you're clear. Boom, 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 boom. And now it's a big whoop. Tori, you're clear. Oh, that's so fantastic. Well, what happened to me? Everybody quickly took me another room. Did you get rid of epilepsy? It was just like all through the bridge. It was everywhere. Everything I did, it was like, did this handle epilepsy? Did that? I was like, what a mess. But anyway, that's basically what going clear means. You're going clear. You've realized something that makes you clear. And the real clear realization is I'm just making this up and I'm done. That's it. And okay, good. So, Joe, if I knew he was taking all those drugs under the sun, I'd be pissed. Me too. I didn't. Nobody does that's in the church. They don't know that he was taking pills. And even if they heard me now, they'd be like, oh, she's full of shit. Tori's crazy. Don't listen to her. That's not true. L. Ron Hubbard would never take drugs. Well, people that were with him say differently. Which part of it's sad, Larry? You've got to let me know. When you just say that's sad, I've talked about a lot of stuff, so let me know what's sad. In Barefaced Messiah, Ron was taking absolutely everything. Right. Thank you. Thank you. And that's a really good book to read, Barefaced Messiah. It's a brilliant book. It is, and it's written by a man that was never in Scientology. It's an author. Larry, why not take medicine to help your ailments? Exactly. Thank you very much. It's the stupidest thing in the world, but it's a cult. It's a way to control people. They've got to finish Dianetics. When that doesn't handle it, well, you got to do the next thing, right? It's always the next thing. It's a way to control people. Larry says, wait, it's a cult. Exactly. Good answer. You guys are funny. No one here is saying don't take medicine. No, we're not saying it, but we're saying Hubbard said it. I've heard that he had dementia after a stroke and was keeping hidden away till he died. Probably true. I think that's about what I've heard also. He was way up north here in California on a ranch. In a little motorhome, believe it or not. Here's this guy with all his millions they had to bring him. No medical treatment, no. Pretty much, unless it's something, you broke an arm or something. Everyone should read Barefaced Messiah about Hubbard's life or Ron the War Hero. Both books say it all. And L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah or Madman's really good by Ben Corden also. And John Atek's A Piece of Blue Sky. Those are good. They're all good. Those are the 3 books that you're not allowed to read at all. All lies for sure. Okay, Sophie. Okay, Larry, in L. Ron Hubbard verse, you don't need medical treatment. You don't need antibiotics. You do need, I don't know what you're saying. Is that you said you need diabetics and auditing. I don't think you mean diabetics and auditing, but I'm not sure. I think you mean vitamins and auditing. Anyway, you don't need diabetics, though. Hi, Joe. All lies, Sophie. Okay. I know I'm just saying mine is a medicine because it was a medical condition. They consider all psychiatric things are drugs. And they tried to say my medicine was a drug. And it isn't. It's a medicine for a physical condition per my doctors and my mother. You can call it a drug also. I don't care. But anyway, this is for anybody in that's watching it. Tori Magoo 44, have you ever met Aaron? Sure. From the podcast while in Scientology? No, not while I was in. No, I never even heard his name. I never knew who. Most of these people I'd never met until I got out. Even Jesse, I think Jesse I probably saw on stage, but I never really met him. But, I knew Debbie Cook because I was at Flag and she was the commanding officer at the time. So I knew her, but not really as a friend. Yachty was a friend of mine, so I knew him. But a lot of them, no. I've met him since I got out, and we're good friends now. I knew Spanky. I met her early 70s. We both started at CC. I mean, I didn't start there. I started at Astro, but as soon as CC started, I went down there. Celebrity Center, that's CC. I hate this cult not apologizing. Well, I would never hold my breath on that one. 2 Julius Caesars in one day, CFS appealing the actor ego, I'm sure. It was very interesting. No, this wasn't acting. These guys were for real. The first guy said, wow, I had a great session. And I said, really? What happened? And he said, I went in session and I realized I am Julius Caesar. And I said, really? Because I never had that, not ever. But Hubbard said most people think they'll say they're Julius Caesar or, whatever, famous people. But really, they shined their shoes or, combed their hair or something like that. Most people were not these big, famous people. But a lot of Scientologists think they are. They really do. Ego is floating in an evil statement. Okay. All right. Larry, no one here likes this cult or any other cult. You're entitled to your opinion, but no one is entitled to force others to agree. Good statement, Sophie. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. I hope. Did it help? I can never tell on that if it helps or not. Let me know if it helps somebody. Well, Sophie, thank you. She's good at what she does. I was reading an old auto-hypnosis. It's from the 50s, and it sounds a lot like auditing and the reactive mind. Yeah, Hubbard took stuff from all kinds of stuff. I told you that. This is Larry, Tori, people trapped and brainwashed in a cult. Yep. Singing the choir on that one, pal. I know. So, is little Davy M taking drugs or anything? I guess so. I have not heard that, and we can ask Mitch, but I don't know that Mitch was that close to him that he would know that actually. But I doubt it. You're welcome, Larry. You are very welcome. Anything to help the high and mighty. True, Joe. Now, what is this? That ego floating is probably disassociation. Okay. Larry, just so you know, the people that you feel like the people in here, if you mean in the chat, most of them have never been in. They're not in. There are people in the church that may be listening, and you're right. I think you're right. They want to leave, and it's okay to leave. Remember, the way out is the nearest door. Okay, that's all right. No problem. No problem. I've dealt with it for many, many years. Okay, this is Janelle. Larry, you've got the wrong end of the stick. We try to stay organized with questions and comments to help Tori. She has memory challenges. Please go easy. Thank you. I do have memory challenges because I had grand mal seizures thanks to Scientology taking me off my medicine. Okay, here's Larry. I got to take medicine to like all of us elderly people, or like all of us. Okay. Bummer. So I have to be a regular Joe in my previous life too. No, you don't. Maybe you were one of the famous people. He was just saying a lot of people, there's a lot of delusion. And it was ironic that he's the king of promoting delusion, but he was sort of implying there's a lot of people that are deluded, that think there's something important when they are just a regular Joe. But that's a funny statement. It's a very funny statement, Connie. I gotta tell my friends that are ex-Scientologists. They'll crack up. That's so funny. Bummer. So I have to be a regular Joe in my previous life too. That is really funny. Okay, Larry, I take a buttload of medicine myself. Well, don't worry about it. Awesome. Okay, good. So you guys are good. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Look at all these hearts from Sophie. All right, and here's Perth Scientology Audit. Cool. T. Hello from Western Australia. Ooh. You explain things beautifully and are very easy to listen to. Thank you. I appreciate that because when I get off onto these whole things, it's a bit much for me, to think, am I explaining it right? Are you guys getting it? And I probably should just tell a little bit and then stop and ask, did you guys get it? Because I never know. And I'm like, so thank you. That helps me. I appreciate it. And hello to Australia. Ooh, one of my goals. I love seeing Mitch out with you the other night. Hope it helps him circling with the protesters. Looks like he was nervous but having fun at the same time. Yeah, he's new at it. It's a new thing for him. He's a filmmaker. So it's definitely a new thing, but I think he's doing good. Okay, question. Why did Sophie block Scotty from your chat? Because Scotty doesn't come with just Scotty. If it was just Scotty, he'd be here. But he comes with a bunch of trolls, and he knows it. I've talked to him about it, and they, they don't really care about any of this. They don't care about anything we're talking about. They're kind of distraction specialists. And you know me, I'm not going to support OSA. And that's one of their goals, distract off of any hot topics or anything about Scientology. I'm not going to do it. I know too much about it, and I'm not going to do it. So that's just the way it is. If he came by himself, that'd be a different thing. But that apparently, from what the moderators have said, that is not what happens. So that's why. I like Scotty a lot. And I miss these guys. I hope they come home pretty soon. I really do. I miss all of them. It's funny how everyone's past life is somehow important. How many auditors have 20 Marilyn Monroes? Oh, God, I bet you're right. Hadn't even thought of that. Oh, how icky is that one? Wow. It's like the winner loves saying grandpa who thought he was Buddha but was a plumber from England. I told you guys the thing about that Buddhist, but I'm going to make it a topic for the next time I talk. Because I know it's fun. I love laughing. Your job is done here. All right, good, Larry. The plumber from England. That is a funny one. That's from Joe. That is really funny. No, I can tell you guys. I think I told you before, but Hubbard brought in 3 Buddhas, and we were ordered to go to the event on OT7, and he was like, finally realized who Buddha is. It's L. Ron Hubbard, and we were like, what? And you know how he justified it? It was TR3, which is repeating the auditing question over and over and over. He said they didn't have that in Buddhism. And we all walked out and said somebody paid those guys a lot of money to do that. And Miscavige was running the show then. I was like, nah, this is BS. Okay, Toucan. Who is Toucan? Oh, okay. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. But it's a fair question. I mean, if you want to know it, that's it. I answered the question. If it keeps coming up, that's a different thing. And that's why we have timeouts. Just made it here. Hi, everyone. Hi. This is one of the funnier ones I love. Hi, Miss Withholdy. For you guys who don't know why is this funny? Because in Scientology they have a thing called the missed withhold. And a withhold is when you are keeping something secret that you don't want people to know. I'll tell you my first missed withhold that I was aware of in Scientology. Okay, there's a house over by the old Celebrity Center down on East 8th Street, which is a real dumpy street, but that's where it was. And close off from that was 811 Beacon Street. And I rented a room there. So I'm there, and there's a singer named Jimmy Spheris, which you can type in his name in YouTube, and he had a big following. He ended up dying very, very young. I think he got hit by a car on a motorcycle and got killed. But Hubbard had said it isn't the withhold that's bad, the secret that you have. It's when it's missed, like someone nearly finds out about it. That's when it's really bad. So, okay, I have that in my head, and everyone keeps saying, have you seen? And Jimmy had rented the big grand suite. It's not really a suite, but it's just like a big grand room in the front of the house. And he'd rented it. And I'd heard him singing, and I loved his music. I really liked him a lot. And someone said, have you seen Jimmy Spears' room? And I said, no, I haven't. And they said, oh man, it's so cool. So now one day I think, okay, he's on course. I'm going to peek in and just peek in his room and look at it. And I open up the door, and here's this room with, this 4-poster bed and curtains and all kinds of plants all over the place. And it smells really good. And I'm just like, wow, just really cool. And I shut the door really quick, and I'm walking down the stairs, and Jimmy comes walking up the stairs. He goes, hey, Tori, how you doing? And that was a missed withhold right there. Because I'm like, oh my God, did he see me coming out of his room? Does he know? And, back then I'm like 23 or 22, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be that much of a dork to go tell him I snuck in your room to see what it looked like. It just was like I was trying to be cool and everything. And it was like, it's so uncool to say that. To me, it was. That's what I thought. So, oh, thank you. Wait, this is the lady from Australia. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will, one time or another. So, there I am with Jimmy. And I'm like, what should I do? This is a missed withhold. Hubbard said this could ruin your life. It's like, it can really screw you up. It's better to just go tell the person. So I knock on the door, and he goes, come on in. And he's sitting on his bed playing his guitar. And he goes, hey, Tori, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like really embarrassed, right? And so he's playing his guitar, and I said, I love your music. I really do. I told him 1,000 times. And so I said, look, I have this withhold. I just studied about withholds and missed withholds. And he said, yeah, I know about it. And I said, so I kind of have this missed withhold that happened when you walked up the stairs and said hi. And he said, really? What happened? And I said, well, everybody keeps telling me you have such a great room, and have I seen Jimmy's room? And no, I hadn't. And so I thought, well, I'll just sneak in, and I won't go in, but I'll just peek in and look, right? And so I did. And then I shut the door, and I'm going down the stairs, and you come up and go, hi, Tori. And I go, hi, Jimmy. And I'm like, it's a missed withhold, and I believed Hubbard at the time. I thought, oh my God, this is really going to screw me up. So I'm telling you. And so he goes, well, thank you for telling me. And it's thank you for telling me. And he goes, I'm going on tour in about a week. And if you want, I'd love to have you stay here because you could water the plants and, just be here if you want. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. I said, definitely, I'm in, right? So it was like, I'm going to get my withholds off no matter what. I'm telling people, man, I'm not going to keep secrets. No. So anyway, I just thought you guys would enjoy that because it was kind of a fun, I don't even know what made me think of it, but anyway, it was just funny. I forget totally what made me think of it. But thank you, T, for that. And Larry, you have no past life. Okay. What you're talking about? I was talking about a missed withhold. Did you not get that? Tell me if you didn't get it. You have to let me know and tell me when you stopped getting it. DJ Lethal, I'm not going to answer that. What is OTA? You can Google it. Joe Buchanan, I have 3. I don't know what this is. I have 3 of Rumpus I bought from the second book of when he used to talk to his Siamese cat telepathically to write books. Really? Wow. Unbelievable. Interesting, Joe. No, my husband made it to OT8. I was OT7, and I left after 7 years of writing Miss Gabbard saying this doesn't work. I'm 100 pounds overweight. I need to lose weight. This is not helping me. L. Ron Hubbard says if you're trying to audit over a present time problem, which being 100 pounds overweight is, it's 10 10-pound bags of potatoes. If you can't get the image, try carrying 10 10-pound bags of potatoes around and have a seat on a couch and try to get up. It's a big problem. And I kept saying, I've got to get off of this level and handle this weight, right? It's a big problem for me. And he would write back, okay, continue. Okay, continue. Well, whoever answered it. But the point is, it never got answered. So I finally, in middle 1997, I got on in 2000 at OT7. In 1997, I'm like, that's it, I'm done. And I quit. So my husband made it to OT8 and was an absolute utter wreck afterwards. It was unbelievable. He crashed my car. I had a brand new car, and he was a good driver. He crashed the car while I was at Flag. I sent him back to the ship to get quote unquote debugged where they can fix it. He got worse. Just, he's still in. What the hell are you staying in for, Harold Bazazian? If anyone hears this who knows Harold Bazazian and talks to him, can you please tell him to just get a grip and call me, who was married to him for 26 years. I will not bug him about OT8. I don't care about it. I will not bug him about being in Scientology. That's up to him. I just want to talk to him and see how he's doing. That's it. Part of our marriage agreement was we will never disconnect from each other. So you owe that to me. So if anybody knows him, please pass it on. Oh, Fluffer Squirrel UK. Hi, girl. Thank you for coming by. Good. All right. Here's Larry. Are you withholding? No, but you probably are. Ha ha. Hey, Adrian. Here's Sophie. Fluffer Squirrel UK. Well, everybody's saying hi to you, which is great. Good morning, everybody, from a poet, Brian Lucas. Wow. Cool. Where are you from, Brian? Guide how young that's not a complete sentence, and I have no idea what you're asking about. So put it in a complete sentence and you'll get an answer if I know it. I'm not good on dates on things, so good to see you, right? GTSY? I remembered it. You're just wondering. I know. I don't know. I don't remember what you're wondering about, what you're asking. Hey, Janelle. Hey, T. Hey, Brian. All right. Larry, I don't know who you're asking about. You're saying, how young did he die? Okay, that's a complete sentence, but it doesn't tell me who's he. I don't know who you're talking about. I've talked about, 10 different things, so I'm not sure. That's why Sophie says, please put it in context. Sophie, I asked if the owner had any Scientology books out of interest, and he said no, but I do have Rampa books, and he told me about him, and I just had to buy a few books. I was intrigued. There you go. Interesting. This gentleman doesn't know how to hear, doesn't hear instructions well. I'll just say that, Larry. I've said it to you like 3 times, and you still aren't doing it. So I'm not going to answer any more questions on it. Hey, Joe. Hope you're feeling better. He's saying this is therapy for me. No, it's not. Or you need to learn what therapy is, because that is not therapy. I recently got a 70s electric Kool-Aid acid test, the first edition. Wow. Interesting. That has to be very interesting. Ooh. I'm sorry, Joe. That sounds scary. I had a bit of I cut a bit of the grass yesterday and I had a panic attack. My mom thinks I have PTSD. Really? Because you cut the grass? Or because you had the panic attack? Well, it could have been the sound. I mean, who knows? It's awesome. Okay. Oh, thank you, Miss. See, that's why I always smile when I see your thing, Miss. This is withholding. I'm glad you appreciate it, especially you. And thank you, T. I appreciate it. I really do. It helps me know if you guys like it or not. Okay, here's a question. Have you ever heard of LRH having a conversion camp in New Jersey in the 80s? No, and I don't think so, but I'm not really sure what a conversion camp is. So, but I haven't heard of it either way. But I kind of don't think so, because it sounds like what they would call another practice. And those are high crimes in Scientology per Hubbard. And you can't do anything else. So, okay. Listening to Tori helps all of us. I often wonder how many people she's helped avoid and leave Scientology. Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people thank me of, and it's like I heard someone asking another ex-Scientologist, I don't know, they made a statement on, he was giving fabulous information on John Atack, and it was about Scientology, and he was just having, people would write in questions and he would answer them. It was really good. And you guys can see it. Sorry, my lips are dry. You can see it, it's on YouTube. But somebody wrote in it, well, he could have left and had a real life. Why didn't he? But it's like he has a lot of stuff that he can help people with. And that's a good thing for we who like to help people. Hi, SP Crusader. Leanie G, cool, from UK, all right. And there you are from Arkansas, all right, cool. Thank you for letting me know that, Brian. Good morning to both of you. Wow, it's 4 a.m. All right, I hear you on that. You're going to alert. All right, well, sleep tight. And then, oh, Joe, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I hope the doctors can help. I'll send over some bits that I have found helpful with panic attacks. Good. That's good, Fluffer Squirrel. I'm not really familiar with them, but I'm sorry you're having it, and you'll get through it. You will. I'll tell you one thing that I can help you with, Joe. Because when I first left, I was watching all kinds of shows on, just trying to learn anything. And I saw this stress clinic, and they were doctors that were telling about their stress clinic and what they do. And they said, and I think panic attacks would come under the stress thing, but they said for anybody who walks in our doors, we teach them this right away. 4, 7, 8. And I thought, wow, what is that? And they said it's inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 seconds. And then let it out for 8 seconds through your mouth. And leave your mouth open so it gets out. And I do it almost every night before I go to sleep. It's a really great way to calm you down. But if you're going into a panic attack, that's a good thing to do. Inhale for 4, hold it for 7, let it out through your mouth. And you can do it over and over and over until it goes away. There you go. That's my main thing for panic attacks. And the other thing is the 4 Agreements, the book, The 4 Agreements. That is a really good book to read just to keep things in your mind that keep things help you. Okay, now this is Joe. Yeah, since my electric shock, I was getting chest pains, even though I wasn't doing much. I was getting tingling in my hand and shaking, and chest pains started getting intense. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I know I saw, I forget her name. She has a huge family, and she's a big celebrity, and she ended up getting electric shock. And she said it takes about a month to adjust afterwards. That's what she said. But she said she thought it was great. But you could try the 478 and see if it helps at all. And it might. It really helps anything. If you're driving across town and you're somebody who gets really mad at people, try the 478. It really works. Okay, here's Sophie. Tori, the electric Kool-Aid acid test is about the big acid test parties held across the USA before. I know, I was with those. They're done by Ken and the Merry Pranksters. Well, I think I was in a few of those, but anyway, I definitely took LSD before it was legal. Thanks, Fluffer. Please take care of yourself. Yeah, definitely do that. Okay, here's Fluffer Squirrel. A conversion camp is where gay people were sent to be fixed. No, he didn't do that. Or cure the gay. I heard someone say there was a camp, but I can't find anything after hours of research. Didn't know it existed. No, Hubbard wouldn't do that. They have to get auditing. I know people that spent. One of my friends, who's now dead, spent over $1 million trying to handle being gay. No, they're not going to do conversion camp. It's probably a real thing, but it's not a real thing in Scientology. They want the money. Remember, it's all money. In conversion camp, first of all, they want them to do the bridge and review. Okay, now this is Joe. Yes, Tori, Chat GPT told me that about breathing. Good. Well, if you use it in the 478, see, it's kind of remember, everyone says do deep breathing, but this was the first time I heard of the 478. And I love that it was a stress clinic, and they said everyone who walks in the door learns this and uses it, and it helps people. So it's a little different than just deep breathing, because deep breathing, you kind of do it and then you just stop. But the 478, it gives you a little thing to do. Unless you heard that, and then just keep trying to do it, because it works. It really does. Okay, Joe, electric shocks can damage the heart. Have they done ECG or referred you to cardiology? I'd rule that out before assuming that you're experiencing panic attacks. Interesting. Okay, good to know. Can't hurt to check. Okay, good. It's only been 2 weeks since the incident and work. So I know I need more time to heal. Yeah. It's interesting how stuff like that happens. It really is. Time often cures it, a lot of times. Joe, the 478 is also called box breathing. It's very effective. I didn't know that about box breathing. How does box breathing? It's the same thing. It's like you're holding it in a box and then you let it out. Okay, cool. Okay, Sophie's saying, Janelle, that's solid advice. This is good. Yes, Janelle, I have symptoms of uricanitis, so hoping it's just temporary, but just got to rest. Yep. Don't mow the lawn for a while. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Chad, for changing the subject. Don't worry. No problem. We care about you. And this is something that happened. It's important. It's important. It's definitely important. Okay, now let me just check if I answered these 5 things that are starred. Okay. Here's Dodge. Night Owl Streams with Tori. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, it's Midnight with Magoo. All right. Now this is Nanya. I use eye drops every day. I have dry eye. Yeah. I think I answered this. Yeah, I already explained that, Sophie. I hope that answered it. Thank you very much again, Mary Dotes. I appreciate that. You love her wisdom and wit. All right. And Dodge, Tori, you were the... Okay, yeah, we said that. Okay, good. So there we go. I think that's it. I think we got it. It's got 5 starred, and I think we hit all 5 of them. So there you go. All right, you guys. Did you all hit the like button? Yes. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your questions. Joe, I hope you're feeling better. I really do. And thank you for all your kind comments. Dodge, send me that. Don't forget. I want to share that with my brothers. All right. Well, anyway, there you go. I love you guys. I'm happy we did this. I wasn't going to do it tonight. And I thought, I think I will. Oh, come on. We had a good time. I think it was good. So there you go. Peace out. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And happy 9/9. Is it 9/9? Yeah, it is. 9/9/2024. All right. I'm out of here. See you later, Gators.